My name is Eric Hughes. I'm the president of the Hillsborough Literacy Council this year, and I will be continuing for 2025. Thank you so much. It's my honor to speak to you today as we come together to celebrate the journey that we're all on, one of cultivating our dreams and celebrating the progress that we've been making along the way. Each of us is always evolving, always striving to become someone better, someone different tomorrow than we are today. We learn from each other, from our lives, and from the guidance of those around us. But above all, we learn because we dream. Dreaming is one of the most human qualities we possess. All of us here have dreams we're working toward. Some small, others grand. And it's through our shared efforts, our mutual support, and our commitment to each other that we learn how to make those dreams a reality. I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to the Tampa-Hillsborough County Public Library System for their unwavering support of the Hillsborough Literacy Council. Through their resources and learning spaces, we are all given a place to nurture and cultivate our dreams. I would also like to thank the board of the HLC for their generosity, both in time and in guidance, as we work together to help others achieve their dreams. And to our dedicated volunteer tutors, thank you for your time, your patience, and your belief in a world where everyone has the opportunity to overcome barriers and reach their fullest potential. Finally, I want to celebrate every learner in this room. Each of you is chasing the dream of literacy or English language, whether it's learning to read, write, or speak. Your commitment is inspiring, and it is your courage and continued effort that makes this journey possible. Dreams are often easier to envision than to bring to life, but with each other's support and with determination, we make progress. I want to invite all of you to reflect on the progress you've made this year. Think about where you are today compared to where you were at this time last year. You have come so far. So as we celebrate all that we've accomplished together, let us continue to nurture and cultivate our dreams, knowing that with each step forward, we are building a brighter future for ourselves and for those around us. Congratulations to each of you for an incredible year, and let's celebrate the progress we've made and our dreams we've yet to fulfill. Thank you. That's my little speech part. I would also like to give a special thanks to our guest speaker, Dr. Wenyu Guo, who is not with us today because of having to reschedule, but she has prepared a nice video presentation for us, and we're excited about that. She's the Assistant Literacy Studies Professor at the College of Education here at the University of South Florida. So we're looking forward to hearing what she has to say. I would also like to thank the Manager of Library Outreach and Partnerships, Cheryl Wolf, over here. And this year our MC will be Daniel Sullivan, who is the literacy coordinator. And I know you guys are appreciating this opportunity to figure out which Daniel is which. Daniel Vasquez in the back, Daniel Sullivan here, so you can get that worked out in your mind. And now I'm going to hand the reins over to Daniel.
Thank you. All right, good morning everyone. I'm happy and honoured to be here with you, the tutors, students and other volunteers of the Hillsborough Literacy Council, to celebrate all you've been able to accomplish during the past year. Learning to read, write and speak English is a long and intense process. Mostly long, right? Mostly long. So, over the years, adults in Hillsborough County have learned skills that have allowed them to turn a page in their lives and provide a brighter future for themselves and their families. Today, we proudly recognise the hard work, dedication, and accomplishments of the students and their tutors. The Hillsborough Literacy Council started as a library program in 1986. So consider what were you doing in 1986. And it continues to receive most of its support from the library to this day. At this point, I'd like to invite the Manager of Library Outreach and Partnerships, Cheryl Wolf, to speak.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cheryl Wolf. I'm the Manager of Partnerships for the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library, and the literacy team is one of my teams. On behalf of the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library, I would like to welcome you to the Hillsborough Literacy Council's annual assembly. At the heart of the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library's mission is our commitment to promoting lifelong learning, an enhanced quality of life, and broadened horizons for all residents of Hillsborough County. As attributed to John Dewey, the most important attitude that can be found is the desire to go on learning. The path to literacy is a continuum of learning. It is an absolute honor to stand here today among such a remarkable group of people. Adult literacy is a powerful tool that transforms lives, opening doors to new opportunities and cultivating dreams that may have once seemed out of reach. For many adults, the journey to literacy is a courageous step towards personal growth and empowerment. It allows them to pursue their ambitions, whether that means advancing in their careers, engaging more fully in their communities, or simply experiencing the joy of reading a book to a child. By embracing literacy, adults not only gain skills, but also the confidence to shape their futures, nurturing the seeds of dreams that can flourish into reality. Celebrating progress in adult literacy is about recognizing the incredible determination and resilience of those who have committed to learning. It's a testament to the belief that it's never too late to pursue education, and that each step forward is a victory worth acknowledging. As we honor this progress, we also highlight the importance of continued support for adult education programs, which provide the resources and encouragement necessary for success. We recognize the hard work and dedication of the students, tutors, board members of the Hillsborough Literacy Council for committing to improving the lives of our citizens and the prosperity of our community. I would like to take a moment to share a few highlights of our program this year. We've had 57 students served, 44 tutors who volunteered, 38 new tutors who completed the online tutor training, which has led to 833 hours of tutoring and 843 customers who have attended 129 Conversation Corner programs held at 6 of our library branches. By celebrating these achievements, we inspire others to take the first step on their literacy journey, fostering a culture where learning is a lifelong endeavor, and every individual has the opportunity to realize their full potential. Together we cultivate dreams, and together we celebrate progress. I hope you enjoy the event today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. So let's take a moment to recognise another person from the library. So Daniel Vasquez, Mr. Vasquez at the back here. Daniel is our literacy assistant who most of our learners and volunteers talk to regularly. So, you know, without his skills and his dedication, you know, it would be a lot more challenging for us to do this program. So we all really appreciate his hard work as well. Okay, now I would like to introduce our guest speaker today, who's Dr. Wenyu Guo. Dr. Wenyu Guo is an assistant professor of literacy studies in the College of Education at the University of South Florida, Tampa. Her research takes a critical perspective to examine how agency, identity, and power among immigrant families and adolescents are constructed as they engage in literacy practices to make sense of their lives. Lots of high-level vocabulary in that one. As an immigrant and bilingual educator, she values and appreciates the diverse cultural backgrounds and linguistic repertoires her students bring to the classroom. She is also deeply involved in local community spaces, including the Asian Culture Center and the Chinese Heritage School, where she supports immigrant children's bilingual and biliteracy development. So now I'm just going to give you a quick heads up that in the first section of the video, you will just see this screen, but after she finishes her introduction, there's going to be some slides that will, you know, help you follow along. So don't panic, okay?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to speak with you today about a topic that is very close to my heart. Language is a superpower. Learning English and maintaining heritage language and culture as an approach for cross-cultural understanding. Unfortunately, I'm unable to join you in person as I'm currently attending a literacy conference in Atlanta. While I regret missing the chance to meet with you all face-to-face, I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to record this talk and share it with you virtually. First, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Jennifer Schneider and the Hillsborough Literacy Council for inviting me to speak today. It's truly an honor to be here with such a passionate and dedicated group of individuals working tirelessly to strengthen the literacy and language learning in our community. I hope you find this session thought-provoking and inspiring, and I look forward to engaging with your reflections and feedback in the future. Thank you so much for having me, and let's dive right in. So at the very beginning, I'd like to give you a bit of my background. My name is Wenyu Guo. I'm Assistant Professor of Literacy Studies at the University of South Florida. Like many of you, I have a personal journey with learning English. As a first-generation immigrant of Chinese descent, I have been learning English for nearly 30 years, starting all the way back to my kindergarten. And honestly, I'm still learning every single day. In this speech, I will share my personal experiences in acquiring a host language, maintaining my heritage language and culture, and also tips for maintaining both. When we talk about learning a language, it's essential to understand that learning the language is quite different from using the language in the real-life context. I still remember when I first came to the United States to pursue my doctoral studies. The English I had learned in China was primarily British English. So I called an elevator a lift and referred to the restrooms as toilet. Even something as simple as responding to the "How are you?" felt really unfamiliar because what I had learned from my elementary textbooks is really different from how people actually speaking in everyday conversations here. Though I could easily read and write in academic English, I found it far more challenging for me to navigate the social aspects of the language. For example, to speak fluently and also understand the cultural nuances behind it. It took me years of practice to feel really comfortable in the daily conversations. And what I realized along the way is that learning a language is about much more than grammar or vocabulary. So it's deeply intertwined with culture, costumes, traditions, and history. As first generation immigrants, we often don't have the same cultural capitals that the native speakers do. But the gap can be bridged by frequently immersing ourselves in the language, by communicating with our peers, our colleagues, asking questions, and don't afraid of making mistakes and learning not just the words, but the culture and the context that come with them. And now I want to shift to something very close to my heart, the importance of maintaining our heritage languages and cultures as the first generation immigrants. So language, as I mentioned earlier, is a superpower, but it's more than just words and phrases. Language embodies our culture, beliefs, costumes, traditions, and history. I am reminded of one story from my dissertation research. So where I have a participant, she's a first generation immigrant mother, and she shared with me her decision to enroll her daughter in the Chinese immersion classroom, and also she required her daughter only speak Chinese Mandarin at the home setting. She explained the reason she wanted to preserve the very strong connection with her daughter. So she told me, some nuances of love can only be expressed in your first language. And this story deeply resonated with me. It also reminded me of a graphic novel I recently reviewed for the Bilingual Research Journal. So the novel was created by the Chinese Affirmative Action to memorize the 5th anniversary of the landmark Supreme Court case, the Law and Nichols. It portrays the struggles of immigrant communities, including the Chinese and Hispanic families, back to the 1960s. And they are fought for their linguistic rights and for the equal access to the education in the public school in the San Francisco. And for those who may not be familiar, the case established bilingual education as a civil rights for bilingual and multilingual students and families. It ensures that the schools across the country should implement those bilingual programs. And in closing, I like to offer some practical tips for maintaining your heritage language and culture. I'm reminded of a really powerful quote by a Spanish writer. She said, "Language is the blood of the spirit." He was absolutely right. Language is the foundation of our identity. It shapes how we see the world, how we express ourselves, and who we connect with, and what opportunities are open to us. Without our native language, we risk losing a key part of our individual consciousness. Maintaining your heritage language strengthens your connections with your community and fosters great understanding with family and friends who share that language. It also ensures that the cultural traditions, values, family knowledge, and passed down to the future generations. And here I have listed several suggestions for the family and also for the school teachers to preserve the bilingual and multilingual students and the adults' cultures and languages. So first, for the parents and teachers, we should incorporate more bilingual children's literature into both school and home environments. Reading the stories in both languages not only enriches the literacy, but also helps children to better understand and appreciate their heritage culture. The second is engage in cultural traditions. We should celebrate our cultural holidays, shared traditional foods, and tell story of our family in our heritage language. These practices can help keep both the languages and costume alive. Next one is advocate for bilingual education. We should support and advocate for the bilingual programs in school. In closing, I'd like to encourage you to embrace your bilingualism and also multilingualism. It's a gift that enriches not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. By maintaining your heritage language, you are not only preserving your identity, but also passing down a rich cultural legacy to your future generations. And here, there is a QR code for you to scan to learn about my most recent publications and the upcoming talks at the 2025 AERA conferences, and also the upcoming presentations at Literacy Research Association Atlanta. And I'd also like to take a moment to thank the teachers here today. You play such a critical role in helping learners, especially immigrants, bridge the language gap. Your patience, creativity, and understanding are what make the difference between a struggling student and a successful one. You are not just teaching language, you are providing the keys to greater opportunities and stronger connections to the community. Thank you again, Jennifer and Hillsborough Literacy Council, for having me today. I wish you all continued success on your language learning journey. And happy holidays. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Wenyu, wherever you are in Atlanta. Having a great day. You know what? I'm going to deviate from the plane here for a moment because I'm an English teacher, an ESL teacher, and we just watched a video. Maybe we didn't all get everything from the video. So I would like us at each table, let's take 3 minutes and talk to your friends at the table. What is one thing you learned or thought about or was inspired by in that video? Just one thing from the video. Talk to your friends at the table. All right, my friends, thank you for indulging me. What is something from the video that you guys talked about at your table? We'll start here.
We talked about the importance of bilingual education at a young age.
The importance of bilingual education at a young age, very nice. Not very common in the United States. There is a nonprofit in Hillsborough County that provides it in schools. It's called Redefiners. So hopefully they're coming to your school if you actually reach. What's something you guys talked about? Preserving your culture and also learning a new culture.
Very important, they respect your culture.
Okay, very important.
No acculturation, no, but they continue.
Right.
And celebration is recorded in your family with your language and your food is very nice.
Exactly, she did talk about that. You guys are smart. I like that. So you're not just giving up your old self to become a new self. You're adding to yourself. I love that. Adding to yourself. What's something you guys talked about? You're on the spot.
We talked about culture in bilingual education.
We heard them.
The copy, you guys, what did you guys talk about?
We don't want to copy this thing.
Oh, culture and bilingual education. Culture, what did you guys talk about?
The learning language is not about vocabulary, grammar, sentences. It's more. It's not about culture, about tradition, it's environment too, the context.
She learned how to speak British English
Yes.
and came to the United States, and it was completely different in some
Yes,
cases.
and it's different when you listen the video and you speak it. You listen the video in the book. When you speak here, the nativity is so different because the people have different accent, different way to say something. Yes.
Yeah, you know, and what does it mean if someone says, I'm going to sit in the cheap seats or knock it out of the park?
And
Or
the idioms.
all those
It's not
idioms,
also-
yeah. Oh my God, what a nightmare.
Yes.
Baseball idioms, who cares? Oh gosh, what did you guys talk about? Maudie, it's you.
We talked about having the confidence and the space to bring our own heritage to the group, but also hoping that the teachers can help make that happen as well from the student and the teacher's perspective of making space for all cultures and heritage.
Love that. Teacher training. Teacher training in multiculturalism or something. I'm going to put you guys in charge of that. Gosh. All right, well, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Guo. Thank you guys for talking about the video. I just wanted to make sure we all thought about what she said before we moved on. Now, at your tables, you will see a publication entitled Visions. It's in your bag. It's in your bag. Each year, the Hillsborough Literacy Council publishes these stories written by the students mostly, but I think this year we have one by Frank, one of our board members, longtime tutor. And Visions is always a great, something to look forward to every year. In this publication, we celebrate the students' learning progress. They're published without any editing. We don't change the students' writing. We don't, make it sound perfect or anything. That's not the point. The point is just sharing your stories. And now we're going to hear from one of those people who wrote for Visions. We're going to ask her to come up, our student reader, Celine Ur, she wants to be called, even though I think we have a name. And she'll be reading her piece about Turkey's fairyland, Cappadocia. I love it. Here we go. And listen hard, because afterwards, there might be some discussion.
The name of my article is Turkey's fairyland, Cappadocia. Cappadocia is a historical region in central Anatolia, Turkey. Cappadocia is the meeting point for millions of people from all over the world who wants to witness a surreal landscape like no other. Cappadocia region was formed 60 million years ago by erosion of soft layers of lava and ash from Mount Erciyes, Mount Hasan, and Mount Gülü. Region's human history goes as far back as 18,000 BC. Cappadocia is best known for hot air balloon rides. Over 4 million tourists visited Cappadocia in 2023. Who can blame them when you think of hundreds of brightly colored hot air balloons taking flight over its surreal rock formations known as fairy chimneys? There are several major underground cities that are worth visiting in the region. The underground cities of this region in general are very impressive. The caves were most notably used by Christians to evade persecution, and some of these cities were built up to 10 floors underground. This area was also the center of early Christian learning. There are over 30 carved from rock churches and chapels dating from the 9th century. While you are there, I definitely suggest you to try the local wines, which are very famous. And don't forget to ask to taste jak kebab, which is meat and vegetables cooked in a clay pot or jak sealed with dough. You can also make these clay pots yourself in several shops. Other suggestion that I would have for you is staying in one of the cave hotels in Cappadocia. That will be an unforgettable experience. Your ticket to Cappadocia is a ticket to another world.
We want to give you just a little thank you for reading your story. Let's get a picture with Corey if you don't mind. Thank you so much. Are there any other visions writers in the audience that would like to read their piece we don't know about? No? Anyone? Okay, all right.
Okay. All right. So I would like to introduce you to another one of our Visions contributors, Frank Schuyler, who you can find his piece on page 10 here. Okay. So we can follow along with it here. And he can't make it here just due to his health today, but we can listen to his story about 30 years as a tutor, which, yeah, I mean, it's a huge contribution.
Okay, my name is Frank Scheidler, and I'm here to tell you about this experience of being a tutor for the Hillsborough Literacy Council. For 3 decades, I've been dedicating my retirement years to teaching English as a second language, ESL, and it's been one of the most exciting experiences I have had. I never thought that after 30 years working for a large international corporation, I would find an activity that enabled me to learn a new skill, meet new people, and find fulfillment beyond any expectations. After graduating from the university with a degree in business and marketing, I entered the field of retailing, but not with great enthusiasm. I was attracted to this company because of their management training program, which offered very good potential opportunities to build a career, and it proved to be so. After a few years learning the structure and workings of the company, I was offered the opportunity to move to Italy to help establish the company in its first international investment. I think it was during this period abroad that I developed a love for the international world. And 35 years later, when I retired, it was natural for me to find some way to keep in touch with other countries and cultures. That led me to the Hillsborough Literacy Council in Tampa, where I enrolled as a volunteer tutor in both basic English as well as ESL. What a journey it's been. After the initial training weekend, it wasn't long before I had my first student. I was excited and a little nervous. Could we communicate? I didn't speak any other language but Italian, and my first student was from Venezuela. But lo and behold, thanks to the training and the books, we began book number 1, Amid Struggles and Laughs Together. Then, the brother from Venezuela became the second student. We were meeting individually once a week on a one-to-one basis. As time went on and these students graduated, I was assigned a gentleman from Colombia, and after him came a student from Peru. What a great experiences we were having. The major part of tutoring ESL is conversation. And I was learning all about their lives, challenges, and adjustments to the United States. As time went on, there has been a young husband and wife from Kazakhstan, another couple from Russia, students from China, Turkey, Ukraine, and Tibet. Each one of these students became good friends whom I could help navigate their way into the American culture. There were the lessons, but also times outside of them when we occasionally got together socially with their families. Most of these early students are still in the area, long since graduated, and have made good lives for themselves. Even today, they keep in touch with me. What a blessing this tutoring has been to me, and I believe also to them. Tutoring brings its rewards, and that's my message today to all of you. Now that you have learned your English and you're equipped to spread it on, my hope is that you too will take advantage of that opportunity to share it with others. It's a way for you to reach out and enrich their lives as well as your own. I believe my experience can be yours also. Thank you.
I just wanted to say really quickly that Frank is actually still tutoring now, which we didn't know about because he told us he's tutoring unofficially. Unofficially. I unofficially meet with my student every week and help them improve their English. Sounds pretty efficient.
He had his students got married at his house. Unofficial. And you know, it's kind of much the same as you'll see tutors who are like tutoring day in, day out for 5 years or half a decade, and then when they talk to me, they're like, oh, they still don't feel like I've made it and I'm a teacher and I'm a tutor. Right? Even when they've been doing it for years and years. I think, like, as teachers, we're kind of perpetual beginners as well, we're learners as well. And it's wonderful to make friends from all across the world, isn't it? So, yeah, I think, feel confident in yourselves. Yes, ma'am, would you like to?
Now I feel confident with it.
What's your name? Tell us your name.
My name is Alvaro Silveriani.
Okay, what
I'm
page?
from Venezuela.
From Venezuela.
The
Page
first
five.
article.
Okay.
No page.
Visions, article.
Page 5. The conversational English classes at the Jimmy Hill Library are an excellent initiative for all of us who come from other countries to live in the United States. These classes help us improve our conversational English, providing us with better job opportunities and qualities of life. I want to express my gratitude and appreciation to the individuals who work toward facilitating our learning process. Their selfless efforts and warm, welcoming nature make a significant difference in our lives. We are grateful for everything they do. During my last classes, I noticed that one person who observed the class dynamics was interested in replicating this idea elsewhere. Some students were happy to know they could attend these classes when they began. Thank you, Hillsborough Library, for helping us integrate into the U.S. community with this great initiative.
Let's get a picture. All right, thank you. Thank you. Gracias.
Camilla too.
Oh, we have another three.
Hello, hi, everyone. So page number 6. I, Camila Sanchez, 10 years ago I made a promise to visit the Virgin de Guadalupe Cathedral in Mexico. I plan to travel soon and if possible also visit my country, the Colombia. So to attend my nephew 33 years birthday celebration together and all my family and friends. I thank God for you many benefits I have received in my life. Such is my beautiful professor, Miss Janet and Miss Brenda, for sharing their time and knowledge. I'm on I relax speed time on Winglea. Winglea, my dog, and enjoy dancing the music, cooking, and church activities, and food, and Zumba.
All right, thank you so much. Anybody else?
Okay. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. You can do it if you want to. Okay. So, the Hillsborough Literacy Council generally has over 100 students between our individual tutoring and our conversation corners. And our students work so hard to study English and reading skills so that they can fully participate in the communities where they live. All of our students are dedicated to learning, but there are always a select few that stand out and shine. Helping me present the Student of the Year Awards is from our Hillsborough Literacy Council board, Carol. All right, so our first Student of the Year for 2025 in our English for Speakers of Other Languages program is Uma.
I would like to say that I promised Uma she would not have to speak. She did not know this was going to happen. Uma has been a faithful attender of our conversation class for 2 years. She never misses a class. She teaches us all things India. I call her our Indian Wikipedia. If we mention something that's unusual, Uma will say, well, in 1827, India started this or that or whatever. She's a delight. We love to have her. She's educating all of us. And she gets a dictionary, thesaurus. She gets a gift card. And she gets a certificate. and she gets to say something if she'd like to. I promised her she did not have to. She's a very shy person, but do you have anything to say about conversation classes or English or anything?
I thank you because it's not that English is new language. In India, from the first standard you have the English, but it's just understanding the new accent. And then speak in that accent. Like last 8 years I'm here, but still this accent is not coming to me. So I know everything here and here, but it is not coming from my mouth. Thank you for being my teacher. Yeah.
Good job! Certificate. Oh, you're so welcome. Did you get a picture?
Yes.
You need to get this. I'm so proud of her for speaking. Because she said, I don't have to speak, do I? And she has an educational article too. Be sure to read it. It will educate you about India. Right?
And I think Carol was just saying to me yesterday that like a lot of us, like our real personalities are kind of introverted, right? Kind of shy. And to learn a language or to teach a language, you really need to like come out of your shell, right? It's really, really scary, especially as an adult, right? To try something new, especially when it's such like a long battle. So, you know, like again, you know, be proud of yourself and like the bravery that Uma and all of us like have to do this. Okay? So we have another student of the year. So our next student of the year, you may have seen her around before. It is Selena.
You too get a dictionary of thesaurus, a gift certificate, and for that,
Thank you so much.
you've read your article. Do you have anything you'd like to share about your conversation class, about the Literacy Council, about your learning?
I'm so proud to be part of this conversation club, and I appreciate Branda's and Jen's help for us. They are great people.
He has been a part of our program for years before I even became a teacher. And you have done such a wonderful job and Celine has done such a wonderful job and we have enjoyed her as part of our program every week. And she just contributes so much and helps us come up with topics for our conversations. And she shares about her country, Turkey, and shares about her activities here in the United States and how she's embraced our culture as well as her own and taught it to her family.
All right. Congratulations to all of our students, and spread the word to other people that you know that we always, every year we have this ceremony as for students of the year, learners of the year, but also for tutors of the year, which the students nominate the tutors of the year. And this year's tutor of the year, unfortunately, couldn't be with us today after having to reschedule. but her name is Christine Jacks, and we will be sure to send her award. Carol, hold it up and pretend to be Christine. There you go. Okay, and I think I missed something. So yeah, you guys know all about the Conversation Corner groups and all that stuff. Okay, I'm going to give it back to Dan.
Thank you.
All right, good job.
All right, and so we also, as part of our program, learning English is really a lifelong, learning any language, it's a lifelong battle, it's a lifelong journey, right? But we do like to acknowledge when people have finished all of our textbooks, right? And made their way through all of the textbooks. And if you've ever tried to work through a language textbook or a writing textbook, whether it's with a student or by yourself or with a teacher, getting from page 1 to the final page, wow, like how many times does it even happen? So, yes, so we did have one student who finished the program this year, and we just wanted to acknowledge her as well, even though she couldn't quite make it today. And that is Ms. Laura Rodriguez. Okay, and hopefully we will have, not hopefully, we will have many more in the future, just as we've had many before. Okay, so we've mentioned the important role of English practice programs, and our conversation corners are open to anyone who wishes to practice their English speaking skills in an informal group setting. Each conversation corner has an organizer who develops a lesson for each week and works with several other volunteers to practice with the students. Over the past few years, our conversation corners went virtual, they came back. We added another one back this year, and hopefully we're adding at least one. I'm hoping for 2 or more next year. So these are a really wonderful service that we're always proud to offer in the library. And I can tell you, when I was working at the circulation desk, I had students, potential students, come up and ask me every single day about Conversation Corner. When's the Conversation Corner? Where can I go to Conversation Corner? So, this is a really wonderful program that I'm really proud of, and I really appreciate you guys. So, I'd like everybody who is a Conversation Corner organizer or who assists with the Conversation Corner to stand up while I pull out your names. If you guys could, I see a few of you around. You too, Carol. So at Jimmy B. Keel Library, we have Janet Daggs, of course, and Brenda. And thank you guys all for coming. I was worried when I heard you were having ice cream this week. Didn't think that was enough party. But, fortunately you also like food on Saturday, right? So, we also have Jane Daniels at Jan Platt Library. Christine Kellogg at Maureen B. Garza Library. Joy Langone at Riverview Library. Chuck Moser at South Shore Library. a really long time tutor but new Conversation Corner organiser is Jeff Taylor at Town Council. And in our virtual Conversation Corners, living in the future here, on Mondays we have had Christine Edmond. And then on Thursday mornings, still meeting up with her students regularly, we have Carol. So thank you so much for your willingness to coordinate the Conversation Corner meetings week after week when they're in session. You know, Conversation Corners, it's like, it's a surprise every week, right? Anybody can drop, it's a great service to have something that you can just drop in, anyone can drop in, you know, it's free to the community, thanks to the support of our volunteers. And it's always, you never know, it's like a little surprise. You never know if you're going to have 1 student or 20 students. So, you know, it takes like some special people to help out with it. And if any tutors in the room are interested in running another one, please let me know. Okay, so the Hillsborough Literacy Council is able to operate through the service of dedicated volunteers, many of them who are here today. If you are one of our tutors, could you please stand up? Okay. Thank you all so much for your dedication. It's just not possible to do this without your help. Okay. And I know that one-on-one connection that we make with our students from around the world is just like something that is really invaluable. So really, I think you all know, you all see what a difference it makes in individuals' lives. So thank you. And our volunteers are constantly inspired by the dedication and hard work of their students. Can I have all the students who are here stand up too, please? As Frank said in the video, like we all get so much out of teaching as well. So, you know, thank you for all your hard work and dedication, and just know that we believe in you. So thank you to the Hillsborough Literacy Council once again for inviting me to be your MC this year. I'll now turn the program back over to our HLC President.
Thank you, Daniel. As we come to the end, I would like to say again, of course, the Hillsborough Literacy Council is supported by many, many people. Again, we would like to thank the library and the library advisors, the Literacy Council office staff, Daniel Sullivan, thank you, Daniel, and Daniel Vasquez back there. These guys are essential in the services of the Hillsborough Literacy Council, of course, coordinating tutor matching with students, getting rooms set up for tutoring and for conversation corners. So these guys really do the heavy lifting of the Hillsborough Literacy Council. We thank them for that. I'd like to thank our donors. Of course, we have Mosaic, Rotary Club of Tampa, and thank you, Carla, for supporting us with Mosaic, and all of those guys that help us with the money that we use to put this event on and other things. I would also like to thank, of course, my fellow board members, Jennifer Schneider, who is our vice president. She could not make it today. Our secretary, Bill Hunter, who is out sick. He tried to make it, but he couldn't make it. Carol Bachnick, of course. Thank you, Carol. Long time board member. Brandy Meredith and guest. Carla Guzman Mims. Paul Sepasich, who couldn't join us today for the reschedule. But Mari Sakai. Frank Scheidler, who you saw in the video. And we have some other board members, Melissa Alonzo Teston and her husband Joe Teston. And we formerly had Joanna Cheshire this year, but I think she is no longer with us. So thank you to everyone on the board for all of your help. I want to remind you that the books, by the way, that are in the middle of your tables, you are free to take them if you want them. So they are free for you. Please help yourself to some free books. And finally, I would like to say thank you all for joining us today for this event. We've been doing this event for many, many years, and we really appreciate the opportunity to see your faces and to recognize students and to let you read your works and stuff. So great. It's a really great time. Thank you all for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again. And I think perhaps Carol wants to mention something.
Sorry. I would like to just say, we had other plans for the flowers, but I would like to give 2 of the flowers to our readers who volunteered so bravely. And then the other one, I would very much like to give it to Cheryl Wolf, who is our biggest supporter at the library, and really, she's wonderful. She coordinates all of this for us. So could I just give these flowers to those 3 ladies?
Absolutely.
Okay?
Thank you again for joining us. Have a great day.